What's up, investors? It's Mike from MJF Invest. Today, I wanted to go live. I wanted to do a live stream. A couple things on my mind I wanted to talk about. First and foremost, Pure Storage's earnings is tomorrow afternoon. I'm really excited about that. The USPS contract was awarded, so I wanted to talk about that as well. If you just got on the live stream, please hit that like button. That kind of stuff really helps the channel. We're going to go over some news. Again, Pure Storage earnings tomorrow, Workhorse. I wanted to discuss my thoughts about what kind of position that they're in now that the contract was awarded to somebody else. And now they took a pretty big hit, and rightfully so. You know, when you're looking and expecting a short-term growth driver, and then it doesn't come, that could be really detrimental to a young company. But, you know, it's not doom or gloom. This, you know, when I talked about Workhorse in the past, you know, I did say, you know, it's nice to have that USPS contract in the short term, you know, as a growth driver. But really, if you're a Workhorse investor, you got to be interested in Dragonfly when the drones are unleashed. And that's not even up for approval until 2022. So that's really when they will disrupt and dramatically lower the cost of last mile delivery. You know, I expected them to get some of the contract, although I'm not a Workhorse investor, so this doesn't really affect me one way or the other. I have swung traded in the past and may do so. You know, guys, please hit that like button, especially if you just got on the live stream. Hit that like button. Really helps promote the channel. We're talking about Workhorse right now. The contract was awarded to Oshkosh. Ford will be handling the assembly. You know, so, you know, they didn't get the contract, you know, but if you were a Workhorse investor, you know, at least I was always promoting, you know, you got to be thinking long term down the road. So this could be a good another buying opportunity. You know, if you still believe in the company. And again, you won't believe in this company until Dragonfly is out and running and really lowering dramatically. They lower the cost of last mile delivery to less than a quarter, which is a big benefit. I would like to keep an eye on what ARC did today. I'm sure ARC wasn't only buying Workhorse for this, you know, for the contract. I'm sure that they were investing for more long term. I want to see how they handle this news. I think that will be a big deal. And how everyone will react. If ARC bails, I think everybody will bail. I mean, you could be looking at, again, a $2 or $3 stock. You know, worst case scenario. But again, you know, every reaction is an overreaction. This could be also, again, if you're still bullish on Workhorse long term, you know, this could be a good buying opportunity. You know, they still have their prospects. This is one thing. You know, they still got a lot of work to do. What's going on, Sean? Thank you for joining the live stream. I'd like everybody to please hit that like button. You know, it really helps promote the channel, maybe get some more eyes in here. We got Pure Storage. Again, the earnings coming up tomorrow afternoon. That was a topic that I wanted to talk about. I'm looking forward to. We got some good news. The name of the company was called, I forgot already. I want to say it right. But earnings is tomorrow at 4 o'clock. Consensus is 480 million. They're expecting in revenue with a 9-cent earnings per share. And again, I'm long on Pure Storage, so I'm not necessarily so concerned with Q4's earnings last year. You know, last year I expect, you know, them to be a little better. Consensus is the earnings should be okay. Like I just said, consensus is 480 million revenue with 9 cents earnings per share, which is a strong. But I believe 21 this year is going to be a big year. I'm really looking forward to, you know, Q1 earnings and Q2 earnings, particularly the second half of this year. So when we could really start to see and give Pure a chance with their sticky customer base, as well as, you know, that NPS. that Net Promoter Score has me very excited, man. It just implies that they have superior products. It's the top Net Promoter Score across the board, not like in their industry, just period. So that would imply superior products and a superior team. No, that what I'm talking about is Pure Storage, and they have an earnings tomorrow, and I'm excited about it. But again, I'm not putting too much emphasis. Tomorrow's earnings is a small piece. I'm a long-term bull. This is a long-term investment. So yeah, it was a rough day for everybody. And I know that's tough, man, when you're watching your portfolio go down. But also, if you're going to be a growth investor and be involved in these speculative stocks, this is what comes with it. On the down days, the bottoms are much lower, right? On speculation. Speculation gets destroyed during corrections and crashes. But with that being said, if we've been talking about it, we could be in a bubble, we could be, or approaching or in one. We were expecting this kind of correction. It's going to happen, 3, 4, 5 times a year, four times a year or whatever. You're going to have a 5% correction. This is a little more drastic than that, right? But I'm still bullish long term. I believe there'll be a recovery even if this is a crash. So, but there's some good buying opportunities in days like today. And I know it's hard to watch your portfolio going down, but that's why we study these companies, and that's why I promote doing your DD, right? And knowing what you hold and having it. These are the reasons why I'm not selling. Why, even though it's down 10%, why am I not selling? And the reason, and then I have my reasons, and I know why. What will happen in the coming days, I have no idea. I expect that this is not quite the bottom. I think that there's still room for individual stocks, but yeah, I'm holding off on buying the dip right now because again, I've been a little bit concerned about us possibly being in a bubble or approaching a bubble. And even if you see the content that I've been making over the last couple of weeks, I've scaled back tremendously on the amount of speculative trades I was taking. The ones I was in, I had low average cost, so I was prepared to come into something like this, but I didn't really take too many new positions, and I was kind of a little quicker to take profits over the last couple of weeks. Stocks don't only go up. And again, though, you got to look at today like it was a buying opportunity, right? There was a fire sale. I got some really cheap Pure Storage calls. I hammered my conviction trades today. I added to my Metro Mile position, MILE, and I hammered Pure Storage calls. And I hope that you guys had some buying power or capital available to hammer your conviction trades on days like today. Because if this is a correction and it's a V-shaped recovery, I mean, that's like free money, right? And again, though, but again, unfortunately, stock market is no place to get rich overnight. And this is part of it. This is part of the game. There's red days, there's green days. It's been a bull market, so we've been spoiled. There's also scenarios where in bear weeks, bear months, bear years even. So, you gotta be prepared for that. Please start a Discord. I've been considering. Thanks, man. Thank you. If you guys are still watching, please smash that like button. That stuff goes a long way. I'd really like to start getting this channel going. I want to do some different stuff too. Maybe possibly invite some other content creators on the channel where we could talk, extensively. I don't know if anybody. I don't know if you guys, what YouTubers you guys watch, but maybe if you threw that idea out there to them, maybe they'd be more inclined to come on. But I'm starting to think on terms like that. To try to grow the channel, grow the audience, and really promote again the research, and the due diligence. A couple other things I wanted to talk about was Metro Mile. I don't know if I have any Metro Mile investors in the live stream right now, but I did add to that position as well. I'm still very bullish on that. I've been saying that stock is, I believe it's a $30 stock in the short term, but despite what's been going on, it's overall market conditions, obviously. So today is a great day. You know, earlier in the week was, you know, as well, to add to some of these. Yes, that's on INAQ is now MILE. You know, to add to your conviction trades. And again, that's what, you know, in a lot of my content, I talk about, you know, not having a portfolio just filled with all speculation, right? You got to have some balance, and you know, and these are the reasons why. Because today, a couple of people had said they lost 10% of their portfolio in one day. That could be difficult, and if that happens, you know, 5% yesterday, 10% today, 4% tomorrow, you know, you're down 20% in a couple of days, and that's terrifying, you know, and that's terrifying, and I understand. But that's why, you know, doing your DD, knowing what you hold, and if you believe in those companies, you know, having buying power ready, so you could pounce on some of those opportunities, because, you know, that's the way that, you know, I view these kind of days. They're opportunities, right? I don't sell anything on a day like today. I never will. I never have. I don't plan on starting anything like that, picking up any habits like that. But days like today are for buying. If you believe in the company, and again, I'm not sitting here telling you to just keep buying speculative plays over and over again. There has to be some conviction. Like, for example, so Pure Storage, I could use as an example, is because I'm not looking for instant gratification, right? Like my plan and my strategy for this trade is, you know, it's a 2-year play. So I'm doing my homework, and I don't care. Like, I could dip down that could dip back down to $19. Some people may panic sell and be nervous about that. I would back the truck up, you know, and that's the kind of companies that you want to have in your portfolio, you know. And you got to ask yourself, you know, before you even buy a stock, I ask myself rather, you know, if this dips 10%, you know, would I stick around? And if the answer is no, then I don't usually get involved. So, you know. Again, we've been talking about it. Everybody's a genius in a bull market, right? And being able to do your own homework and being able to select stocks on your own is going to become very important. You know, especially nowadays, like in this like YouTube guru era, where, you know, stock pickers come on and they tell you this is going here and that's going there. And in a bull market, that's fantastic. It really is. And again, everybody's a genius in a bull market, but in markets that are a little more realistic, that's where the research comes into play, and reason comes into play. At the end of the day, you know, we're looking for companies that are growing year after year over year. Maybe companies that are pivoting their business model, right? And only buying good companies, good strong companies with good strong leaders. Is the best way, and days like today, then, you know, they just don't bother me that much, because I believe in my companies. I believe in them, good or, you know, good conditions or bad conditions. I believe in them. I think they're some of the best companies, if not the best companies. So, you know, that's what I would suggest. Everybody should feel that way. And again, in such a bull market, people could be more inclined to take some of these really speculative trades, right? Like over and over again, and it's working, and it's working, and it's working. Like, and that's great, but there's a lot of people picking up bad habits right now, and you know, I don't want to be like the party pooper. You know, I think the party continues for a little longer, but start to get into like the fundamentals and selecting some of these companies, you know, based on, you know, facts, right? And based on plans, not on, you know, extreme speculation, or, you know, as simple as this. And again, I know CCIV I could use it as an example. People are going to make a lot of money on that trade, right? But it's, you know, in reality, it's a rumor. It's a rumor about a company that's that's pre-revenue, right? It's a rumor about a company that hasn't even sold a car yet, and it flew up to, it was like $60 a couple of days ago. So, you know, it's you know, a lot of people make a lot of money, but that's not necessarily a great habit to get into. I feel like you're going to lose more money than you're going to win. doing that, but that's nothing short of gambling, and that's not really what I want to do. I want to have a portfolio that I believe in, that's going to outperform the S&P 500 over the next 10 years, right? With not gambling. Like, I feel like I've done my homework, and and I put the odds in my favor with, making sure I know and have all the information available to make the best possible choice. So that's the kind of stuff I want to promote. And speaking of Lucid Motors, again, very interesting company. Out of these startups, right? Out of the startups, it's probably my favorite one. I like them, and I like Rivian. I like both of those companies, right? But I've been seeing on Twitter lately that people keep comparing Lucid to Tesla, and that is just such an absurd comparison. These two companies are nowhere near the same thing. Tesla's been doing it. They're out there on the road for a long time. That's right. And that's such a great quote, Sean. I love that quote. I read that quote often. He just wrote, "The stock market is a device for transferring money from the impatient to the patient." That is a fantastic quote, and definitely rings true. I've learned that. That's one of the hardest lessons that I had to learn. But everybody will learn. Everybody has to learn at their own pace and learn their own way. But circling back to Lucid and Tesla, I saw on Twitter a few times people comparing Tesla to Lucid, and I just don't see how that comparison is reasonable. Tesla has they're not only the out there and the leader, and they're already changing the world. I don't know. This company hasn't even sold the car yet. I like the fact that Lucid is manufacturing their own cars. I want to know, and I can't seem to find the answer, and I hope somebody can maybe give it to me either here or at another point, maybe on Twitter. Hey, what's going on? How you doing, Eric? Thank you very much. Hey, everybody, guys, make sure you hit that like button. That's right, we have the Pure Storage earnings coming up tomorrow. I was just talking about that. They had some good news yesterday. They just acquired another company, another customer. So I'm very excited about this company. But anybody who's been watching any of my content knows Pure Storage is wildly bullish and very excited about the opportunity. And I'm not putting too much emphasis on tomorrow's earnings. Tomorrow's earnings are important. I hope that there's growth. Specifically, I'll be looking for growth in the subscription model, and I'll be looking for some of the maybe some of the other announcements. But I'm not like putting too much emphasis doom or gloom. Like, I wouldn't be concerned that much if they miss earnings, depending on why, as long as nothing's fundamentally different. But based on all the things that are kind of lining up right now, and they're painting a pretty clear picture that they're about to start really revving things up. Really cool article I read today, about a customer they acquired yesterday, and really exciting stuff. So it just to solidify that kind of conviction that this year is going to be a good year, man, for Pure Storage, and it's undervalued right now, or at least there's a lot of upside, and anybody who will listen, I think there's a big opportunity there, and I think as soon as you start looking into it, it's not hard to see some of the case studies on their website as well. They're like absolutely mind blowing. Some of the case studies, especially this case study in life sciences. When you read through that and then start to just imagine, where this is going. Man, I mean, I don't even know, man. I might be shooting the potential low even. This could be like endless ceiling. So definitely really exciting. So yeah, and another thing too, I wanted to talk about was to continue I wanted to finish my Lucid Motors thought with Tesla. I was saying on Twitter before, I seen quite a few people, and the conversation went on, and there was a lot of people like comparing and like really behind Lucid, saying Lucid's a real, threat to Tesla, and I don't know, that's just certainly not the case, Yeah, I hope so, right? This is a company that's pre-revenue. Again, pre-revenue. What else was going on today? Yeah, it was a rough day. We want to have diamond hands. We want to make sure that, and that's why I suggest too to take notes. Actually physically writing things down. I keep my notepads. I got them all over the place. And reasons not to sell on days like today. Because again, a couple of people had mentioned in the comments that they lost 10% of their portfolio in one day. 20% of their portfolio in 2 or 3 days. That's very difficult. And I could definitely understand, that kind of anxiety. Yeah, PSTG to the moon. Hey, Q, what's going on? All right, everybody, please hit that like button. Definitely the earnings for Pure Storage tomorrow, really exciting. I'm really excited and fascinated. I'm hoping they blow them out. But again, I'm not putting too much emphasis on that. A couple other things I wanted to talk about. I talked a little bit about Workhorse earlier in the video. Workhorse was not awarded any of that contract. They took a 50% hit. They're down under 20. They're like down at $15 now. That's I'm looking to see what ARC did today. I'm sure that ARC wasn't only involved just for this contract. But if ARC does, sell for some reason too, I could see everybody panicking at that point. And that's kind of why I stayed away from that stock, just for that reason. But if you are bull, and I do see some growth drivers for that company long term, that could definitely bring some potential later on. Strong stimulus coming in, vaccines. That's right. I'm your subscriber from the UK. Hairless and careless. Thank you very much. I love new subscribers. Welcome. I hope you enjoy the content. Hope you find value. Heavy emphasis on the research. Being educated and informed with your companies. Another thing I wanted to start to promote too is, and I struggle with this myself from time to time, is you don't have to be involved in every trade that goes off. Just stay focused on a few companies that you really believe in. It makes days like today, like yesterday, a lot easier. When you really know and believe in your companies. Again, I talked about, today I hammered Pure Storage today. I added to Mile as well. Metro Mile is another company I believe in for long term, and I still think that they're undervalued. I still think that this could be a $30 per share stock in the short term, in the immediate future. So why not? Why not at 16? Nothing's different about the company. Anything that happened today was due to overall market conditions. Stick around and learn. Thanks, man. Thanks, Sean. That's really nice of you to say. I really appreciate that. Yeah, so that's the kind of the audience that I'd like to have, and really promoting the information, and being a student, and looking at this like everything intentionally, everything strategically, in good times and bad, and learning from those losses. And that's where I find writing again to be a useful tool. When I make some mistakes, I certainly write them down, and I try to find the patterns in some of those mistakes. And a lot of the time, it's impulsivity is usually the enemy. Anytime that I've sat down and thought about what I was doing and structured the trade and did stuff that made sense, I've done pretty well with those trades. I can't remember too many that I've lost on. The trades that I have lost on have been, getting a bright idea in the blink of an eye, seeing things go up and getting involved, without any basis. I'm talking about, quite some time ago, but I mean, learning through that process, taking the notes, writing it down, and making sure that I understand that there's a pattern to when I lose money, and that's when I get off the script. Having a system, an organize, you don't have to call it, a system, but having a way to do this, there's value in that, and having a structured, organized way. I'm shocked at how many people are not really organizing the way that they're trading, in any way, shape, or form. They're not taking notes. They're not writing down. They're barely looking into these stocks. I've talked to a few people that didn't even really know what an investor presentation was. So those are things that I really want to get out there and promote. Is that kind of stuff more so than just go buy this stock. I can't. I don't really think. I don't see how that helps. More or less. Hunting down that information, hunting down those growth drivers. On your own. There's real value in that. That's kind of what I believe. Yeah, I hope so. I hope Q4 are good earnings. I sure do. Thanks. Tattooed Chef. I've discussed Tattooed Chef. I really like that company as a growth stock. If you look, and again, I'm going to circle back to what I was just talking about in the investor presentation. If you just look at some of the ecosystem that they're building with their partnerships and grocers, I mean, they can seamlessly lay out a national plan where they are regionally, and I think the plan is to be in 50% of Walmarts by the end of the year. I mean, what does that tell you? That tells you that there's going to be a huge bump in revenue, right? Walmart, Target. I mean, they just struck deals with like even small time stuff like 7-Eleven and Wawa. I mean, they're in a good position, Tattooed Chef, and that's a growing industry, right? A lot of millennials and Gen Z, Gen X are paying attention to health and adapting a plant-based diet. And what's more convenient than a frozen plant-based meal? So it's brilliant. It's brilliant on a lot of fronts. I'm not an investor. I did swing trade it before it was when it was a SPAC. I made some money and I moved on. I am starting to consider it more and more to be part of my long-term growth portfolio, which now at this point might as well just be my portfolio, my entire portfolio. But that's a really good one, really interesting. That's towards the top of my my watch list to be a contender to possibly buy. I also really like the fact that that if you look at companies like Beyond Meat and their market cap, and to give you an idea of what kind of potential. And again, we're talking about they're in Costco, they're everywhere, and then they also have deals for a private label. So they're doing store brands, which is revenue for them, even though they might not get the credit for it. But who cares? Nonetheless, it's money in Tattooed Chef's pockets, as well as they're delivering SKUs rapidly. So if I could get the right price on that one, I would definitely consider buying it. That's towards the top of my list. And it's a shame too, because companies like that and it's a well-run company too. High margins, good business. And they're just not like, I guess, sexy like EV stocks. They just go flying, or biotech, they just go flying. This is just a good, solid business. And I think if you're willing to hold it long, that you'll make a lot of money on Tattooed Chef. Such as Argo blockchain. No, I haven't considered it because I was completely ignorant to it. Honestly, I would like to know more. I'm inquisitive. I'm curious. I like to know about stuff. So, any cool articles or any cool stuff like that, follow me on Twitter at MJF_invest and send stuff my way, man. I'm always looking. I'm so curious about everything. Now, whether it piques my interest, and when things do pique my interest, they really do. So, that's why I love this, what I'm doing here with creating content, and it's like kind of the perfect outlet for somebody like me. So, if you have any cool articles or suggestion, again, follow me on Twitter, send it to me. I'd love to read through it. So, no, I'm not familiar with Argo blockchain, but I would like to read about it. Today was one of the riskier entries. Board announcement came through. They pivoted and bought a Swiss crypto mining company, trying to corner the weed blockchain. Well, that's the problem with the blockchain now, and this is at its most fundamental level, is these people that are trying to have control over the blockchain. Blockchain is decentralizing, right? That's the beauty of it, and that's how it works best with big networks where it's peer-to-peer, and the people of the network have the same common needs. The second somebody tries to control it, now it's centralized. So now you have a centralized decentralized network. So I'm no fan of any. Again, I don't know. Maybe this company's great, but that right off the bat to me, I don't like that. I would shy away from something like that just because. Not saying that there's not money there. Maybe there's a lot of money there, but just for that reason alone, I'm not a big fan. Do you know what I'm saying though? Like blockchain, in general is a decentralized network. That's just all blockchain is a decentralized network. And the second somebody takes it and tries to control it and own it, now it's centralized. So now I don't see how any of that can work. That's why when people say governments are going to come in and make a currency, yeah, they might try, but you can't. The beauty of blockchain is that it's decentralized, and the way it works best is that when it's decentralized. The second it becomes centralized, again, now it's vulnerable for security reasons. It's vulnerable, as well as it defeats the whole purpose. So blockchain technology is so cool. Sean, I know you said you like to do DD. I don't know how much you've looked into blockchain, but I really got like obsessed with it for a couple of weeks there. I read a few books on it and just tried to get what it was and where it was going, and some of the ideas and potential use cases for it. Man, it is so fascinating, and you would have a great time going down that rabbit hole. Oh, it's a swing trade, sure. Yeah, I would swing trade. Yeah, anything. Why not, right? But again, I want to know about it though. Like I would love to see about it. Just because I said that doesn't mean I'm wrong. I'm wrong often, But 8 yeah, EHT coins. Oh, I love that, man. Yeah, Ethereum is great. So yeah, you know about blockchain then, obviously. So, and Ethereum is another one. I can't wait, and I'm gonna start to do content about it a little more. I've been for about a month and a half now, trying to like just understand it all and get how it all works. It's kind of complicated, but I'm not quite ready to explain it in a simple way, but I'm getting there. And when I'm ready to make content about it, I think Ethereum is something when people really can understand it and it's laid out to them in a way that it's just a simple way to get it, like a regular person to a regular person can explain it to you. I think a lot of people are going to really see the potential in that. Yes, the real estate blockchain. That's what I can't wait to see. I can't wait to see. And again, I don't know. And again, it makes no sense to try to do it on their own. But I would really love to see one of the real estate companies tokenize. I don't know, Zillow or Open Door. I know this is far fetched, and I'm crazy. I'm out of my mind. But I would like to see something like that. It'd be really cool. The potential use case, potentially how to use stuff like that. And it could open a lot of avenues and a lot of doors, where you're just totally, peer-to-peer, selling. So I've been going through the, hey, Eric, yeah. The question is, what stocks I've been looking into. I've been looking into, and I'm getting ready to do videos about HOL, which is Astra. And I've been really going through the ARK Invest Israeli fund. I love that fund. I really do, man. I think there's a lot of cool companies in there. And again, the reason I'm so fascinated with that is if you go through that entire ETF, IZRL, there's a lot of companies, they're going to fly. Some of them are going to fly. Some of them are probably going to fail. But that whole ETF is loaded with 200 million market cap, 300 million market cap, 500 million market cap. They're very low market cap stocks. So I know, there's some of them are going to rip and fly. So I'm just thinking in my head, I want to try to find some of the cool ones in there. So I've been going through that lately. So there's a few of those that I wanted to start talking about on the channel. Ticker symbol RADA was one of them. That's a military like satellite company. Really, really cheap. Again, I don't know that there's any like revolutionary companies that I at least I haven't seen yet, but definitely companies that have some 10x potential. GILT, I made the video about that one. Now let me say again, I mean, it's dying again because overall market conditions. But the way that I'm reading now, and that Peru deal is big time. I like that. I like that company. They have great $50 million of built-in revenue right there. You know, over the next 5 years. You know, and that was a $500 million deal. And that's going to continue, and especially once, you know, Starlink and internet starts going out there. They're already they have 44% market share. You know, even if they lose a little bit of market share, I mean, they're going to gain so much revenue. I think that's a pretty good opportunity, you know, there too. And also in such a growing market. And I'm also expecting ARKX will be announced soon, and they're going to start buying. That will be a part of ARKX. I'm almost certain. Yeah, I shouldn't say I'm certain. If I had to guess, that would be one that I would say is in there. BCRX. I'm not familiar with that stock. Oh yeah, BCRX. Oh, the biotech stock. That's Monster Stock Pick stock. You should watch his videos. I can never explain that company as good as he can. But they have a lot of drugs in their pipeline that are going up for FDA approval in rare diseases. But I'm no expert on that company at all. But Monster Stock Picks, he has quite a few videos about that ticker, BCRX, and he explains it much better than I ever could. So I think it's worth the risk for the sector. Yes. Oh, that's also to say too, like I don't know that it's anything special, right? There's value there with GILT, but I don't know that it's a 20x potential. I don't know. You could probably find that kind of value in other areas. You know, and definitely you could find value in other companies in that sector as well. So I don't know, you know, how I would do that one. You know, I don't know how you guys feel about vaccine plays in general, but I was looking at one last night. And I want to say this right, and maybe somebody could help me figure this out too, because if this is correct, then there could be a big opportunity. I'm thinking here. All right, so the ticker is BVXV, okay, and it's in ARK Invest Israeli Fund. It has a $50 million market cap, okay, but somehow they're valuing their drug at $700 million. No, how can that be? Like, how do they come up with that number? Too, like that's what I can't quite figure out. The drug is M0001. It looks really cool. Like when you read the studies and you read what people are saying about it, all looks good and checks out. But I don't know how they're quite valuing their drug at $700 million when the company has a $60 million market cap. I would like to know how that, you know, how they got to that number. You know, what was used to get there, but I thought that was pretty interesting. I'm going to get an answer. I don't know how I'm going to get an answer, but I'm going to get an answer on that one. No, the ticker is BVXV. BVXV. It's an ARK Invest Israeli Fund. If everybody's just got in this live stream, please smash that like button. That stuff goes a long way. I'd like to try to, you know, get some eyes in here. You know, that kind of stuff helps, so please do that. So we're talking about ticker symbol BVXV. It has a $60 million market cap. Yes, BVXV has a $60 million market cap. It's in ARK Invest Israeli Fund, IZRL. You know, they have a fairly small position in it. It's not like it's not like they're hammering it or anything, but it is in there. And through the research, you know, it all checks out pretty good. But somewhere in the on the website, they're valuing their drug, which is M001, as a standalone at like $700 million, which is over 10x its market cap. And again, I'd like to really try to understand how they got to that number. And then there's another model too where they lay it out in doses, and it's pretty cool. It's a pandemic type vaccine, the studies and all the data to this point is really good. It's the first of its kind where it's a vaccine against type A flu viruses and type B flu viruses. So, what was really fascinating about the drug was the drug was created in 2011, and it was used against a flu, like a flu that came out of Switzerland or Australia in 2000, 5 years after, and the vaccine worked against that influenza. So I'm assuming that there's trials going to be coming out about COVID, how it reacted with COVID. And if there's positive data with that, that could be, who God knows, geez. MO, love your channel. Are you still very high on IMPX? Now, when I say high on IMPX, that would be part of like a very speculative part of my portfolio, meaning, I wouldn't put so much money in there. I mean, less than 1% of my portfolio. But yeah, I like that company long term. If you're going to hold it, there's big upside there. That's another one. It's under $100 million market cap in a big industry, a huge industry, growing industry. They're kind of making the industry, right? And in a world of like the future of contact tracing, possibly getting us back to live events. Yeah, man, there's a lot of value with IMPX. They just got a pretty big deal with the Mall of America. They won Technology of the Year. So it's there. It's there. Now, hopefully that this guy can run a good business and bring him something, but we gotta see. A lot of people are not big on the CEO, but we'll see. I think there's definitely value there. I was discussing my vaccine play, and Eric said ARCT is my vaccine play. It's a COVID mRNA. That is also ARCT is also a vaccine play, and I'm not educated enough on the company to relay it to you, but I definitely check that one out. I believe that is also an ARC. It's an ARC-G, right? ARC, yes. ARC also owns it. Definitely a cool stock. But I would like to try to understand it. I'm going to get to the bottom of that. If I can't get to the bottom of it, I won't ever make content about it. But if I could figure that BVXV thing out, I'm going to start making content about it. But another one that looked really cool was RADA, R-A-D-A, that was in the Israeli fund. That's probably going to be a video that I make pretty soon, or I'll do a video possibly about a couple of different stocks in that one. They have some pretty cool. Israel is really fascinating me, by the way, with I keep reading, like it's popping up. I seen a book at the store the other day about how Israel is becoming like the startup capital of the world, and how remarkable it is despite the resources and the conditions. And and this whole time ARK has this fund, right, in ETFs. We love ARK, we listen to ARK all the time, right? And they have a whole ETF dedicated to Israel, right? And I just kind of overlooked it this whole time. I didn't even care. But meanwhile, I've traded FRSX, right? That's not in ARK, but they're out of Israel. Nano Dimensions, right? Like I've done pretty good with these companies out of Israel. So, I don't know. I'm gonna keep going through that ETF. I'm thinking there's gotta be something like special in there. I'm not quite sure exactly which one. It would help if I had a better understanding of biopharmaceuticals, because there's a lot of biotech companies in that ETF. A lot of companies that are working on cancer drugs and a lot of cool stuff. Matter of fact, there's let me just see. It's G. Let me tell you right now. IZRL. You get the right. I just want to get the right ticker name. So many stocks. Everybody's always asking something. It's GMDA and KMDA are the two from ARK Israel, the ARK Israeli fund that I've been really looking at, trying to learn enough at least to come to, to make some content about. They look really interesting, especially GMDA. Really, really cool stuff that they're doing. They're trying to cure blood cancer. So and there's a lot of biotech companies in IRZL, and I'm gonna start looking into some of those a little more. Cell and gene therapy. Another company that I talked about not just recently was Evogene. That I didn't even know that's in the ARC's Israel Fund, IZRL. I talked about that one at like $4. That one's holding up pretty good. Holding up pretty good even today. It's like at $9 right now, or $8. So that was pretty cool. Then when I saw that, because I talked about that one a couple months ago, or a month ago at least. ORGS. I am not familiar with that one, Sean, but I've talked to you enough now to know that you know what you're talking about, and I'll 100% look into it, 100%. Some of the other things, OCGN. I did not own that stock, and it's hard, man, for me to understand a lot of these. I don't get involved in too many biotech stocks, unless I could see really something clear. I didn't know that Ocugen was going to go flying like that. VVXV. No, BVXV, yes. And BCA. No, BVXV, not the other one. Zomedica, sure. Okay. Zomedica is, I made a few videos about that one. I like that stock in terms of, there's certain value. Now, I don't know how much value. I think we're going to know. I believe tomorrow they're going to report earnings, if I'm correct. I think it's the 24th. I'm expecting they're going to talk about some pre-sales for Truforma. But keep in mind, Truforma is only the beginning, right? It's the first of its kind. It's point of care. It's a diagnostic system for companion animals, so felines and canines, with adrenal and thyroid issues, right? That's number one. That's great. With the distributor, it's a good one. It's a respected one. It's a national distributor, the oldest in veterinary care. So that's a positive sign. I'm expecting Truforma to do pretty well, but that's just the beginning, right? They're working on 3 other assays. They have an assay for feline UTI for UTIs, urinary tract infections, which happens to be the #1 way that young felines die. So that's huge, right? They're also working on a canine cancer drug with a company called Celsi, right? Celsi is a subsidiary of a company called Biorad, who's a really big company. It's a good company. That's speculation. That's just me throwing my nonsense in there. I don't know that. I don't have any inside information or anything like that. I just I'm speculating. But I think that's a good sign. I used the same theory when it was 19 cents when I saw that Corvo was making Truforma. Okay, so hopefully this theory continues. So I think there's still a lot of value. It's a big market, a growing market. The companion animals, they're also getting into making products and medications for horses. What's the proper enunciation of that? But for horse, INND. I'm not familiar. But to continue with that, so there's a big pipeline, a big market. It's growing, right? They're the first of its kind. Big, how can anybody catch them? Somebody big is going to buy them. Especially if there's some kind of positive data with canine cancer liquids or anything positive like that. I could see a big company wanting to own that, right? Companion animals are a huge market and a growing market, and especially in the United States, Americans spend their money on pets. So ZOM is a company that I like. I've been trying to promote, at least considering holding your shares. I'm not out here telling you go start a position at 250, but if you got in with me, with me at like 20 cents, 40 cents, in that range, I was saying hold on to your shares, because I think there's a possibility with the good that we could get to $5. Maybe more. right? Like, I don't know. I want to find out though, and I wanted to give it an opportunity to mature. So I don't want to, right. So, right. And a lot of people feel that way, Sean. I don't think you're alone in that. And I think that's why it's such a big and growing market. I mean, look at Chewy, man. This pandemic was like the best thing that ever happened to that company. You know, I don't mean that, you know, really, but I mean, in financial terms, it went from a, you know, $40 or $30 stock. It's up over $100, you know, and that's just from their e-commerce business, really. So pet business is huge. And even if you pay attention to what's going on the side, like news, Walmart's adding all stuff with pets, you know, yeah, a lot of that's going on. A lot of, you know, so, you know, Metro Mile talks about pet insurance coming down the road, you know, so it's a big sector, growing sector, you know, and who doesn't want to be the one who cured doggy cancer, canine cancer? I think that would be really cool, you know, so, you know, I like that company. I don't want to, yeah, no, I know it. If you guys are still watching, please smash that like button. I'm going to probably stay on another 5 minutes, 10 minutes. If you guys got any more questions, please let me know. You know, or anything that you guys want to talk about, probably stay on another 10 minutes. All right, so I'm gonna keep talking about Pure Storage a little bit because tomatoes, APPH. I had that company. I've recently sold. I did pretty good on that trade. App Harvest was a good. I think it's a good company. You know, think about it, right? Even to the way they're positioned, they're in the Appalachian. They're within a 1 day's drive to every major market. You know, they're very efficient. They use less water. I mean, they have these super amazing, you know, greenhouses. These super, you know, like Walmart. They're that big. They're as big as like Walmart fulfillment centers. You've harvested the tomato. Yes. You know, they're like Walmart fulfillment centers, these big, giant, like super greenhouses, you know, and I think ag tech is a cool thing. And what's really fascinating to me with App Harvest, and because I follow them on LinkedIn and their Twitter and all that, they're going to produce their own farm system, right? Like they're getting involved. Jonathan Webb was just talking about on his LinkedIn. He was just talking about, you know, what they're doing in public schools. Like they're going to be like moving into the community there, right? And they're going to like bring people up. It's going to be, you know, I don't know how, you know, how familiar anybody is with that part of the country, but you know, the Appalachian, you know, one is good. It's rich in soil, and Jonathan Webb is right when he says California's on fire, man. It's burning up. You know, we can't keep getting our leafy greens and tomatoes from Mexico. You know, look what just happened with the pandemic. He's telling everybody we got to be able to feed our own people, right? And he's saying there's a big opportunity, and I think he's going to capitalize on it. I think App Harvest is a good company. I unfortunately sold my shares because I went YOLO on Pure Storage, but I do like that company, and I think it's a good company. I've only been invested for a couple of months. If I had to say a few £1,000s to invest, how do I decipher how many stocks to hold? I don't hold usually more than like 10 or 12 at a time, maybe 15 the most if I was like really juggling a lot. But, you know, I don't know, man. That's up to you. That you got to make that choice for yourself, you know, and decide what exactly is the right amount of stocks that you can manage and keep track of, right? And that's basically ultimately what you want to do. Like tomorrow, I know Pure Storage's earnings call is. I'll be on that earnings call. You know, I own some of this company. That's how I look at it, right? So I want to know. I want to know everything. I want to know everything going on with them. And if something's happening that I don't like, then I want to make sure that I get my money and I want to get away from them. So, you know, that's the way that I'm looking at it, and that's the kind of way that I'm trying to promote, you know, for you to look at it. And I think, you know, and I don't know if you guys are already doing that, but that's kind of where my message, you know. New and up and coming stocks like Zoom, not really. You know, it's kind of, I've been talking about, you know, we're approaching a bubble, could be in a bubble, possibly approaching the bubble, kind of scaling back on some of these like crazy speculative trades and trying to trade more with reason, based on, fundamentals, things that are going to continue to work in a bull or bear market. I feel like, the party may continue, and if it does, I may, dabble back into some more of these speculative trades. But as of now, I'm really focused on my long term, and I'm really focused on, if I'm going to add, I'm going to add something long. I got to believe in it long. So, that's kind of where I'm at right now. If market conditions change and things start flying all over the place again, then I will maybe consider and start hunting down some of these, penny stocks and micro caps. Or do it more. But if I find an opportunity, maybe differently. But we'll see. But right now, I'm really focused on my long terms. I'm thinking more down the line. I'm really trying to build this Pure Storage position out in a way that it changes my life, because I believe in this company that much. I did my homework. I feel like I see it coming. Despite a lot of people don't even know what it is. I feel like this is a big time next generation company, like big time. And if I think that, and I think I have that information before most people, I want to capitalize on it. So opposed to taking on a whole bunch of speculative trades, when I make money on something, I'm parking it in Pure. I've been. So, PSTG is the trade for me. It's going to make or break me, right? Change my life one way or the other. Lose, and that's right. All right, guys, I think I'm going to get ready to wrap it up. Thank you for joining me. Please smash that like button, share the content, let people know, we're promoting, good sound, investing, researching, being informed, so tell a friend, tag a friend on Twitter, whatever it is that people do today. Thank you so much for watching. Stay tuned for the next video. I'll definitely be having more content come out. Make sure you follow me on Twitter at MJF_invest. Hit that bell notification too, so you're notified when next time I do a live stream. I appreciate you guys spending some time with me this afternoon. Everybody have a great day. Happy trading. Hopefully tomorrow is a much better day than today. And PSTG to the moon. That's right. Good night, everybody.